ताकि तुम्हारा वीडियो फ्रीज हो गया क्या? अच्छा नहीं, तुम फ्रीज हो, फ्रोजन हो। ठीक है 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 ठीक है, कर लो कर लो, आराम से करो अपना काम। वो अपना वीडियो चाहो तो ऑफ भी कर सकते हो, फिर बाद में ऑन कर लेना बीच में। Hare Krishna, Sonal Mataji. Nisha. Good to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, good to see you. Hare Krishna, Sudevi Mataji. Good to see you.
Hare Krishna Rakesh Prabhu.
Okay. Should wait. Okay. So
Rakesh, you have to unmute yourself.
are you gonna mute, Mom? Oh, can you say how do I mute your? No.
Rakesh, switch on your audio. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm unmute.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
How are you?
That is Sudevi, Rakesh from Foster City.
I know. I'm good.
Hare Krishna Rakesh Prabhu, how are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I'll send my test today in the evening.
All right, good. Now everybody on Facebook knows about that.
Oh, sorry.
That was just a way of telling everybody that we are broadcasting live on Facebook, and I'm seeing Preeti Radhika also joining us. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Preeti
Krishna.
Radhika.
Dandavat Pranam. Happy Ekadashi.
Dandavat Pranam, Happy Ekadashi to you and to everybody. Can somebody, let me just ping. Where are our hosts, Khyati and Neeral Prabhu?
Krishna Shraddha Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Sukharupa Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
How come I don't see you on the panel?
Oh, because my video is off. I just put a sticker on the video.
Yeah, no, that is fine. I should still see you as a person who has joined the call. Oh, now here I see you. Okay, good. I see you in the participant list. Okay, that's good. Good. Yeah, I just think Khyati and Neeral Prabhus to get going. And so what chapter are we doing in Chad these days?
In Chad? No, chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Okay. So we'll get I'll you all have Bhagavad Gitas with you?
Yes.
You want to read from that?
Let me get my...
Okay. Preeti, you have a Bhagavad Gita?
I can
you can take the
grab
Bhagavad
it.
Gita from here.
I'll grab it.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready Mataji.
Good. Hare Krishna, Suyashan Manasi, good to see you. Hare Krishna, Suraj, good to see you.
Hare
Krishna.
Chip.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so you can turn your pages to chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And I'm going to switch off the music here and we'll get started. I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that we can see all of us here. And Om Jnanatimarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Welcome everybody to our Bhakti Vrksa. And today we are going to start with reading from the Bhagavad Gita. And we are going to read chapter number 7. We're going to read only the translations and in English. And we are going to do 2 translations each. So now I'm trying to recall the order of appearance. So I know I was first and then Rakesh Prabhu was there. And by the way, I just wanted to say something very interesting. That when we used to have this, Bhakti Vrksa at various people's homes before this coronavirus hit us. And then we used to broadcast also. And then we didn't have this facility of broadcasting from Zoom to Facebook. I didn't even know it existed. But anyway, because the setup was different, we needed a not proper camera there that you could zoom and pan on with different people on inside the room. And so Rakesh Prabhu always used to do the service of being behind the camera. And he absolutely refused to come to in front of the camera. So here he is now today, exposed to the
Hare
whole
Krishna,
world, the
Prabhu.
man behind the camera.
So good appearance. Prabhu made a special appearance today.
Okay, so yeah, so we will just get reading. So I was there, and then so I'll read, and then Rakesh Prabhu will read, and then Sonal Mataji will read, and then after that Sudevi Mataji came, and then Suyash Prabhu and Manasi, there are two of them there, so they will read, and then Sukharupa Mataji will read, and nothing I missed, but that's fine. We have plenty of verses there. And then we have Sashi Shekhar and Victoria also joining us today. Did I miss out on anybody?
Preeti Radhika.
Preeti Radhika was there. Oh, okay. Preeti Radhika and sorry Preeti and Chitra Mataji. Okay, let's just go.
Khyati and Neeral. We are also missing.
Khyati and Neeral are also there. Awesome. Okay, very good. We have full quorum today. So we will get started with reading from the Bhagavad Gita. And actually, why don't you go ahead, Rakesh? I will come in the end.
Mataji, did you send the link for the PDF?
That Khyati Mataji does.
Okay, Mataji.
That she will do. Yeah, right now we're reading from, I'm just giving her some time to post the links to the PDF on the chat. PDF doesn't go, and then the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 7. So Rakesh, you are just supposed to read just the translation, which is in bold, which starts with Supreme Personality of Godhead for verse 1, and then the translation for verse 2. I shall now declare like that. So you got it, page 321. This is such an interesting page, 321. Okay, that's page 321 in my book. I don't know whether it's the same in your books.
No, it's different.
It's a different one, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So go ahead, get started on it. The Supreme Personality. I think you are on mute. Did you mute yourself? Yeah.
Okay, one second. Unmute. One second. Hold on. So
audio. Join the audio.
So is that okay? So can you hear now?
Yes.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt."
Text 2.
No, that the next two, text 2. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Okay, who came after me? After Rakesh Prabhu, Sonal Mataji was there, right? Yeah.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separate material energies.
Who comes after Sonal Mataji?
Sudevi Mataji.
Sudevi Mataji. Go ahead, Sudevi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji read only one.
He read 2.
Okay.
She read 2.
Okay. Earth, water, fire, air, ether.
That we already did. We have to do 5 and 6. You have to do 5 and 6.
Sorry. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature.
You read this.
Okay, you read.
Where is it?
All the created beings have seen their source in these two natures of all that is material and all that is spiritual is in this world. Know for or certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution.
Haribol. Okay, who is that? Who is next?
He's reading, but he's muted.
Who is reading?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Text 7. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me, as pearls are strung on a thread. Text 8. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man.
I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in the fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all the aesthetics. O son of Pratha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men.
Should I call out a name if you have forgotten the sequence?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah. Okay, why don't you go? You spoke, so your mic is on. Sukharu.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principle. O Lord of the Brahmas, O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjunas, know that all state of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me.
Okay, good. Then I'm just going by the way the names appearing on my screen here. So after that, Chitra Mataji, can you unmute yourself and speak? And if you have already spoken, those of you can mute yourself by removing the audio.
Mataji, I'm not following which PDF is you're following. Plus, you
No, we are
proceed to the
reading
next
from.
person, Mataji.
Okay, so for those of you who joined us a little later, which is Archana Mataji joined us, and also I saw some new names as well.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Pranam.
Mataji. Yes, and Dheer Madhavji. Yeah, and Dheer Madhavi also joined us there. So those of you who joined us late, we are reading from the Bhagavad Gita. We are just reading the translations, and we are on chapter number 7. And Sukharupa Mataji just finished reading verse number 12. So the next person that I call out will read 13 and 14 and only the translations there. Okay, so Chitra Mataji, if you can give us 13 and 14. And those of you who are not speaking, if you can mute yourself, that helps here because we are recording this call. Archana, are you ready? Or we can come back to you later. No, sorry, Chitra Mataji.
So I'm supposed to read 13, no, Mataji?
Yes, 13 and 14, just the translation.
Okay, Mataji. So this is Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 13th verse, translation. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. So I'll put the next one. So that is verse 14, translation. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Thank you.
Okay, good. Then Khyati Mataji and Niral Prabhu, you can take turns to read.
Mataji,
15.
text 15.
Text 15,
Right?
1-5, yeah.
Those miscreant who are grossly foolish who are lowest amongst mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by the illusion, and who partake the atheistic nature of demon, do not surrender it to me. O best amongst Bharatas, four kind of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, and the inquisitive. The inquisitive, and he who is searching for absolute knowledge of the absolute.
Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and one who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service is sure to attain me, the highest and the most perfect good.
Okay. Achna Mataji.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures.
Dheer Madhavi. Are you in a position to read?
Yes,
Okay,
I can read.
Yeah, please.
Text 23rd, right?
21st.
21, sorry. Yeah. So I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desire to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to the particular deity.
You have to read too.
Can you? Okay. Endowed with text 22nd. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtain his desire. But in actually, these benefits are bestowed by me alone.
Okay, good. So everybody got a chance to read, right? Anybody got left out? Okay.
Shashi Mataji.
Shashi Shekhar, I think, dropped out. I don't see him on the screen here. I texted him on our WhatsApp group to say that you have dropped up. I don't know whether they know or not. Yeah. So they'll have, yeah, we'll go to them when they come and join us. Okay. So 23 and 24, I'm going to read. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Rakesh Prabhu, give us 2 verses, please.
I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. 26. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows.
Okay, Sonal Mataji.
O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death.
Okay. Chitra Mataji?
It's done.
Mataji.
All the translations are done, Mataji. 30.
Okay, sorry. I was at a different place. Okay. So let's then go to the verse of the chapter for today, and which is the link Khyati Mataji is already posted on the chat window for you. So if you can bring that up on the screen, and then we will go. So if you're not reading, if you can mute yourself, that'll help. And then also, Sonal Mataji, if you can tilt the screen of your computer just a little, because I only see the top. Yeah, I don't see you. Yes, this is much better.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can groove with a little bit more tilting, though. A little bit more. Focus. Yes, this is much better. Okay. So, Shukarupa, let me know.
What do you
Yeah.
need to know?
Hold on for 1 second. I'm going to mute everybody here.
I did not receive.
Yeah, I have muted all of you, and then, but you can unmute yourself. Okay, so when your turn comes to read, then you come and unmute yourself, which is Rakesh Babu will join the audio, and then you read. Okay, so we have sent a link on the chat window, and Khyati Mataji, maybe you can post that chat window on that link on the chat window one more time for those who joined late, so that they can get that. And if you want to say something to me, you can unmute yourself and come here. And whose turn was it to read? We had Sudevi Mataji had read, so then we'll have Sukharupa Mataji. I'm just trying to see you.
Myself, Mataji.
Yeah, yes, okay. So please remember your spots. I won't call out the name because I'm losing it here today. Okay, can somebody post that link? I think Khyati Mataji is not be able to hear what I'm saying. Can you post it on the chat?
Mataji, are we reading chapter 8?
Say that again.
Are we reading chapter 8, Mataji?
Hold on, Chitra. Just hold on. I'll answer your question. Khyati, if you post the link to the 9 stages of Bhakti, then people will understand what we are reading.
Mataji, I thought I posted that again.
I didn't get it. Yeah, it didn't go through.
I put it in the Zoom.
Yes, Mataji, it is there actually.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I just posted it on WhatsApp.
Yeah, and I also put it on the WhatsApp
Put
group
on Facebook also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it now. So somehow what is happening is I was looking for the tiny link. I was looking for the tiny links. I was not looking at that big link that you've given.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Okay, good. So Chitra Mataji, Khyati Mataji has posted a link on the chat window and also on the WhatsApp group. It's a couple of pages long. It's a PDF file with a few pages on it. And
is it the stages of Bhakti, Mataji?
Exactly. The 9 stages of Bhakti. Okay. Yeah. And what we do with this book, with this chapter, is that we go and read one paragraph each. And it doesn't matter, whether it's a big paragraph that you got or a small paragraph that you got. We just read one paragraph. That gives the chance to everybody to go and read. Okay. So Sukha Rupa Mataji, you can get started.
So 31.9 stages of Bhakti. Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So do I need to read that once or just?
Yeah. So in your quota, you got the verse today. So just read that verse. Yeah.
Ada Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha tatha bhajana kriya tatha anartha nivritti tatha tato nishtha ruchis tatha athasaktis tato bhavas tatha prema dichyate sadhaka namam evam prema pradubhave bhavet kramaha. In the beginning there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and become firmly fixed in the devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotion intensifying, and finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotees interested in Krishna consciousness. Shraddha is faith, sadhu sangha, association with devotees, bhajana kriya, performance of devotional service, anartha nivritti, decreasing of unwanted attachment, nishtha, steadiness, ruchi, taste, asakti, attachment, bhava, love, prema, pure love of pure love of Krishna. In the Bhakti Rasamrita
So
statement,
Sukharupa Mataji, we just read one paragraph each and then we start circulating.
Okay.
Right? So whoever comes after Shukha can read one paragraph.
Read.
Yeah, please go ahead.
In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, the science of devotional service is explained as follows. In the beginning stage, there must be a preliminary desire for self-realization. This will lead one to the platform of desiring to associate with spiritually advanced persons. The next step is to become initiated by an authorized spiritual master and to perform devotional service under his guidance. Through the execution of devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master, one will become free from all material attachments, achieves steadiness in self-realization, and finds taste in hearing about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This taste leads one to further attachment in Krishna consciousness, which is called bhava, or the preliminary stage of pure love of Godhead. Pure love to the Lord is called prema, or the supreme perfectional stage in life.
Okay, good. Now what I'm going to do is on your, if you look at your chat windows on Zoom, I have posted a link, or I'm trying to post a link. Hold on, it's going not going to everybody. Okay, here. Did you all get this? It's a link to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, from where this verse is being picked up.
Yes.
Okay, you got it? Okay. So yeah. So I want you to focus on, I want you to all of you to bring it up on your browser, and I want you to will it help? I think it'll be much better if I just share my screen, because that coordination is becoming a little bit difficult here. So let me share my screen. Okay, share my screen, and this is what I'm sharing. Can you see this? Synonyms, can you see?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good. So now I want each one of you, so this is the verse that Shukharupa Mataji recited, and now we're going to look at it word by word. So each one of you, again, take two Sanskrit words and also tell us the meaning of that, reading from this place. So whoever is next can go next.
Adau, in the beginning, Shraddha, firm faith or disinterest in material affairs and interest in spiritual advancement.
Next. Whoever comes next after Khyati.
Okay.
Tatha, whoever, I don't know when is my
It's
turn.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, go ahead then.
Okay. Tata, thereafter, Sadhu Sangha, association with pure devotees.
Okay.
Atha, then, bhajan kriya, performance of devotional service to Krishna, surrendering to the spiritual master and being encouraged by the association of devotees so that initiation take place.
Tata, thereafter, anartha
Vritti.
Nivritti.
Yeah, it was moving, so
Sorry.
No problem. Anartha nivritti, the diminishing of all unwanted habits.
Syat, there should be. Tata, then. Nishtha, firm faith.
Ruchi, taste. Tatha, thereafter.
Prema, love of Godhead. Abhyuchanti arises. Sadhaka Nama, of the devotees practicing Krishna consciousness.
I am, is this Premna of love of Godhead? Anybody wants to go?
Pradurbhave in the appearance. Bhavet is kramaha, the chronological order.
In chronological order. So what's the meaning of Ruchi?
Taste.
Taste.
Okay. Okay, good. What is Prem?
Love.
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 What is Anartha Nivritti?
Diminishing of
Diminishing
unwanted
of
habits.
unwanted habits.
Unwanted habits. Can you give me some unwanted examples of some unwanted habits?
No meat eating. No intoxication.
No, give me examples of unwanted habits.
Watching TV or mundane affairs.
Okay.
Browsing.
Browsing what? We are browsing right now.
Browsing. Whatever is not Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Browsing things not related to Krishna. Okay.
Eating more than what we are supposed to.
Are you doing that these days? Nowadays, I'm on some WhatsApp group and all that I see the whole day is like, I made this dish and I made that dish.
Quite heavy group.
Too much eating and sleeping.
I prepared this. I'm like, ooh. Okay, good. So anartha nivritti is that you have you get rid of the unwanted habits. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing because now is the time come where we'll have discussions, which is how this particular these sessions are always organized, right? So let me just go and stop sharing the screen. So from what you have read so far, let's just look at some of your reflections on the 9 stages of bhakti, right? The 9 stages they talked about. So if you want to tell what stages came to your mind from reading the one page?
Mataji, can I go?
Yeah, but give me only one stage, right? Leave some stages for others. Give me any one stage you like.
Any one?
Yeah.
Association of devotees.
Association of devotees. And what is that called in Sanskrit?
Sadhu Sangha.
Sadhu Sangha. Okay, good. Good. Anybody else wants to give something more?
Can I go?
I think Bhajan Kriya.
Bhajana Kriya. And what does that mean?
The performance of devotional service to Krishna. Like
Krishna.
sing.
Okay, very good. I like that clarification. And who wanted to go? Was it Sonal?
Yeah. The first thing should be faith before everything else.
Okay, and what is faith called?
Shraddha.
Okay, good. I just like hearing it. I just like hearing it. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go and tell me more. Give me some more.
Anartha nivritti.
Anartha nivritti. All right. And what is that?
Decreasing of unwanted attachments.
Unwanted attachments. Okay. And more. There are 9 of them.
Prema also, love of God.
Prema, love of God. Okay.
Mataji, Ruchi, the taste
Ruchi.
taste to hear more of
Okay,
Krishna
Ruchi, the
Katha.
taste. Okay. What else? Did we do 9? All 9
And
of them?
Nishtha.
All right. Nishtha. Okay. Right?
Ashakti.
Asakti.
Asakti also, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
attachment.
Asakti is there, right? So what exactly, so we'll go a little bit more into the details of each one of these stages, right? So what was the first stage that is there?
Shraddha.
Adav Shraddha.
Shraddha.
So Shraddha means that you have got faith. And actually, the level of a devotee is determined to a certain extent by his faith. So those who are neophyte devotees, right? They are new to Krishna consciousness. They come to the temple. They look at Krishna. They have a relationship with Krishna. They don't even see anybody else. And if you're not talking, if you can mute yourself, that'll help. So if you, so they are at that lower stage, their faith is very low. Their Shraddha is what is known as Komal Shraddha. Komal means soft. Soft means you can bend it. So their Shraddha is equated to be like a banana tree, right? A banana tree, if you look at the trunk of a banana tree, it's very soft, right? So you can bend it in this way or that way. So they come to Krishna consciousness, they hear about Krishna consciousness, they like it, they start doing a few things, but then they go to some other place, they hear about some other philosophy, and if that other person is very vocal and comes across with some arguments which they can defeat, then they are swayed, and then they will go to that. So sometimes you'll find that people are hip hop from here to there, from this to this. I'm a Muslim, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a this, I'm a that. So their faith is very little. Or they might just say that I don't want to pursue this and just go back. So their faith is low, right? And then when the faith becomes a little bit stronger, then they are known as the medium kind of or intermediate devotees of the Lord, which Madhyam Adhikaris. So Madhyam Adhikaris will have a little bit more faith. So their faith is very strong. I am a Hare Krishna. Nobody can move them from that situation. Nobody can convince them to come join their organization or their faith or their line of philosophy. Nobody can do that, right? However, they cannot convince others of the superiority of their faith. Obviously, if somebody is pursuing a particular line, they think that is superior. That's why they're doing it, right? So they are not able to convince others as to why they're doing it and that others should also join them. And the reason for that is that they do not have enough knowledge from the scriptures to be able to quote from the scriptures and defeat somebody in an argument. Right? So at the beginning stage, the neophytes are that they have very little knowledge of the scriptures, maybe zero. They have a little bit of faith, but it can be swayed in this direction or in that direction, like that. And then we have the intermediate Madhyamadhikaris, whose faith is very strong. You can't budge them. You cannot push them. They are there, right? But they can convince others. And then on top of that are the Uttamadhikaris, right? Or the topmost. And their Shraddha is very strong, of course. And then the knowledge of scriptures is also very strong. And with that knowledge, they're able to convince others and beat them in arguments. So can you give me an example of a person who was able to convince others of this philosophy?
Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada, right? That's the obvious answer. So he was able to do that. So these are, so Shraddha is very important. It's an important thing. But we have to remember that Shraddha is actually, it's not something that it's a tablet that you take and you will get it. Shraddha is actually a journey that you go through, right? And it is from superficially, you might see people behaving in a certain way. You might think that they are great devotees of the Lord. And it is just that maybe the time has not tested them. When the time comes for the test, they fail. And then you realize that what is going on inside. And in this context, there's a very nice story that Prabhupada, narrates a part of that story. And that story is about Narad Muni. And Narad Muni is actually, what does Narad Muni do? Any pet pastime of Narad Muni? Anybody wants to unmute themselves and tell me? What is Narad Muni famous for? What benediction does he?
Narad Muni goes on searching who is the Mataji.
What is Narad Muni's job description?
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah, so Sudevi, I'm asking for Narad Muni's job
Mataji
description. I'm able to hear you,
okay.
Mataji. Sudevi,
His job description? He travels in all the three worlds.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. So Narad Muni
he travels in all the. You asked job description of Narad Muni?
Yes. Good. I was looking for that. So we are good. So that's what Narad Muni was doing. He was doing the first part of his job description. He was going from one place to another place. So he comes here, and on this earth, he finds that there is a Brahmana, a Pandita, and he's sitting, and then he's just chanting the names of the Lord. His eyes are closed, and so Narad Muni goes there with his veena, And he's playing that. And then when he reaches that person, so the person opens his eyes and he says, oh, Narad Muni. So then he says, oh, Narad Muni says, well, wow, appreciates that he's doing all this devotional service. And he says that, okay, thanks him. And then he says, so where are you going, Narad Muni? So Narad Muni said that, I'm on my way, from various planets. So I've come to Earth. And from here now I will go to Vaikuntha and I'm, to meet Lord Vishnu. So he says, hey, you're going to go to meet Lord Vishnu. Can you please ask Lord Vishnu when I'm going to get liberated from this? So Narad Muni said, yes, I will do that. So Narad Muni continues walking on this earth, and then he meets a cobbler, the one who fixes the shoes. And so cobbler also, sees Narad Muni there. He offers his respects, and then he says, so, where are you off to? So Narad Muni says that I'm going to Vaikuntha. So he says, oh, you're going to Vaikuntha. Can you please ask the Lord when I'm going to be liberated from here? So Narad Muni says, okay. So when he reaches the Vaikuntha planet and he sees Lord Vishnu, he puts these two questions that, these two people there, one is a Pandita, a learned Pandita, knows everything, and a Brahmin. He's there. And then there is this cobbler. So both of them have asked this question. So then Narad Muni says, so then the Lord Vishnu says, yeah, that's fine. I can tell you. So that Brahmana that you say, it's going to take him a very long time. He has to take many, 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 many births before he can be liberated. And then that cobbler, he will be liberated at the end of this life. In this life itself, he's going to be liberated. And Narad Muni is completely taken aback. He says that, what?
Mataji, some network problem
Mataji,
is
you're
there.
breaking.
Your voice is breaking.
Mataji, your voice is breaking actually.
Yeah, okay. Let me just see. I'm also hearing some noises. So if there are too many lines open, then you won't be able to hear my voice. Actually, the more number of lines are open, then the lower my volume will go. So let's try that one more time. If you can mute yourself if you're not speaking. So Yash Prabhu, can you mute yourself? Is it any better now? Is it any better? Somebody tell me. Sonal Mataji, tell me, is it better?
Yeah, little better. Little better.
All right. So now you know that you need to, okay, you need to mute yourself. So, okay, I'll again ask just one person to unmute. Sonal Mataji, can you tell me what was the last thing you heard from me? Because I have to go back. I was telling you a story. Sonal,
Tell you what?
Can you tell me what was the last thing you heard from me? So that I can.
Oh, yeah. So when he goes up to Vaikuntha and he asks Lord Vishnu about these two people. So the last I could hear, the first one I couldn't hear. The last one I could hear was that the cobbler this is his last birth.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. And yeah, so if you can go on mute. For the first person, the Lord says, that Brahmana is going to take a very long time before he can be liberated. And this cobbler, he's going to be liberated in this first life itself. So Narad Muni is completely taken aback. And he's like, well, why are you saying that, my Lord? So he says, okay, I will tell you, I won't tell you that, but I will tell you a question that you should ask those two people when you go back to the earth to deliver this information to them, and you will know my decision. So Narad Muni says, okay, my Lord, what is the question? So he said, well, don't even ask the question, just make a statement there. And you say that I've just returned from Vaikuntha and that I met the Lord, I asked him your questions, and at that time, he did give the answer, and at that time, the Lord was actually, he had a needle, and through the hole of the needle, he was passing an elephant through the hole of the needle. So he was threading an elephant in a needle, like that. So Narad Muni says, okay. So then he goes down to the earth, and he first goes to the Brahmin. And when he goes to the Brahmin, the Brahmin is there. He says, okay, fine. So you met the Lord? He says, yes, I met him. So what was the Lord doing? And so Narad Muni says that, well, he was threading a needle with an elephant. He was passing an elephant through the needle's eye. And the Brahmana gets angry and he says that, you are just making fun of me. like that, I don't even believe it. You just go away. You're disturbing me. Let me go back to my meditation. So he, and then Narad Muni, starts understanding it. He begins to get it. And then he goes to the cobbler. And then he goes to the cobbler, and the cobbler again sees him very happy. He welcomes him back. You've come from meeting from the Vaikuntha planets. You've just met Lord Vishnu. I should offer you double the obeisances and all that stuff. And then he says, okay, did you meet him there? So Narad Muni says, yes. And he says, what was he doing? And Narad Muni says that he was threading the needle with an elephant, so this cobbler gets very, very happy, and he's so excited, and he says, wow, yes, of course, I'm so happy that he was threading the needle. And Narad Muni with an elephant, and Narad Muni just turns to him and says, why do you say that? Why are you saying this thing? Say that, it's an impossible thing. Why do you think that she could be doing that? So then the cobbler says that, look at this banyan tree underneath which I am doing this, my cobbler work.
Mataji, could you repeat your question?
So Narad Muni says that, why do you think?
Mataji, I cannot hear you.
Okay, let me do one thing.
Mataji, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, Mataji, could you repeat what you said last?
Yeah, let me do one thing. Let me switch off the video. It might reduce the pressure on the line. Does it get better? Does removing the video get better? Make it better? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Mataji, I can hear you now. Yeah, it's better.
Hey, Rakesh Prabhu, maybe you can switch off the thing and come and sit here in this room, so that there's less pressure on my internet. Yeah, just switch it off. Just leave that meeting and just come and join me here. We were maintaining social distancing, right? That's why we were in separate rooms. I'm just kidding. Okay, so he can still hear me from the other room also. Is it any better now that we have two people off the meeting? Is it better?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji,
Okay,
it's better now.
good. Okay, yeah. So when Narad Muni goes and meets the cobbler is very happy to see Narad Muni. And he then says, oh, you're coming from Vaikuntha, you have met the Lord, and he offers extra obeisances because he's just Vaikuntha returned. And then he says that, that what was the Lord doing there? You went and met the Lord. So he says that, Narad Muni says that the Lord was actually threading a needle with an elephant. And again, this cobbler starts dancing with joy, and he says, oh, wow, you saw the Lord and he was threading the needle. Oh, how wonderful that is. And so Narad Muni is confused, and he says, why are you so very happy with this answer? You know that it is not possible to do that. And then he says, why is it not possible for the Lord to do that? I mean, look at this banyan tree underneath which I have got this little cobbler shop. And I should be, if you look at this banyan tree, and if you look at the seed of a banyan tree, the Lord is able to put the big banyan tree inside the little seed. And it's not even that. He is even able to, he's even able to, this banyan tree will have many, many seeds, and inside those seeds are further banyan trees, and so on and so forth. So if the Lord is able to zip up, Rakesh, I have removed it because of the load on the network. You can just sit here. So you can sit here and watch also. Yeah. So so he says that if it's possible for the Lord to do all that, why is it not possible for the Lord to be able to pass an elephant through a needle of an eye? So this was the main difference between the two, that this cobbler had what is called as faith, right? He had Shraddha, he had faith that the Lord can do anything, absolutely anything. Whereas the other Brahmana, who was doing all kinds of things, supposedly devotional service, did not even have the first stage of devotional service, which is to have faith in the Lord, right? So continuing on with the text which is there. So we have, and I'm also trying to go to my book there so that I can bring it up. So Adav Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha, right? So sadhu sangha, once you have a faith that there is God and you have faith that He is the Almighty, then you will want to go to and have sadhu sangha. That is, you'd like to have association with the devotees. You like to be associated with them. You like to know more of them. You like to sit and eat with them. You like to spend time with them. And then what do devotees do? Devotees are doing devotional service, bhajana kriya. So he will, be there with the devotees, he'll watch them, and he'll also engage in devotional service with the devotees. And when you start doing these devotional service, then the devotional service to Krishna has got a cleansing effect on you. It'll clean you. It'll clean all the bad habits, clean ourselves of all the bad habits that we have. And cleaning of the bad habits is known as anartha nivritti. Then, so you will continue to do your devotional service. And, in the beginning, it is like, oh, I have to change my habits. I have to eat only stuff which is offered to Krishna. I have to get up early in the morning. I have to do some fasting and things like that. So some days we will do it. Some days we won't do it, so it is like that. But then as you continue to do devotional service, then your bad habits are going away. So you will get what is known as nishtha, or determination. So which is steadiness in your devotional service, which will come from determination to do it, right? So now you get steady. Nobody misses. They say, oh, that person, he comes to Mangalarti all the time. He's never missed a day like that. And as you continue to do devotional service, then you develop a taste for doing it. Now, we don't necessarily have a taste for everything that we do in our lives. Sometimes we do things that we don't like, but we have to do them. Can you give me some examples of things that you have to do in life, but you don't like doing them? Unmute yourself and tell me. Anything in life that you have to do which you don't like doing.
Like now we are sitting at home even though we don't want to.
Okay, because of the coronavirus. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay.
Preparing taxes.
Having a bitter medicine, knowing that it would benefit me, although it tastes bad, still will have it.
Okay, good. Right. So these are some examples of things that we have to do, like cooking in the summers when it's very hot, right? Or taking a cold shower in the winter. You don't like doing it. Go ahead. Neeral Prabhu, you were saying something?
Daily exercises at times.
Daily exercises at times? Okay, for me always. Okay. All right. And then, so these are things we do because we don't have a taste for doing it. But when you have a taste for something, then you will do it without anybody telling you to do it, right? So can you give me an example of things that you have a taste for doing? You have no taste at all?
Eating prasadam.
Eating, honoring prasadam, yes. Right? So that's something that you like. You have developed a taste for doing it. So you are doing it. And then after that, what happens is that you will start getting attached to doing what you are doing. So in the devotional service, there is an attachment. Now you see that devotees get attached to their, the deities which are there, right? They get attached to the fact that they are cooking for Krishna. So like that, there is some attachment that gets developed there. And then you will start doing the things for Krishna. So what happens is that when you reach the stage of attachment, going through anartha nivritti, etc., when you reach that stage of attachment, you like to do, your mind is focused on Krishna all the time. Asakti, like, just as a person thinks about the lover all the time, you'll think about Krishna all the time, what I can do to Krishna. You see Krishna here, there, like that. And then what happens is that usually in our lives, what we have to do is that we have, usually we have to yank ourselves from our material life to go and do devotional service. For example, I have to get out of bed where I was enjoying my sleep to go and do devotional service to the Lord, right? Or, I am watching TV and now it's time to go to the temple. So I have to kind of disconnect myself, and I might not like it, right? Doing that. And why I'm going to go to the temple? Because I have got ruchi. I have got some ruchi. I like going to the temple, but I like this television also. Maybe I like television more than I like going to the temple. So it's a difficult thing for me, right? So at that time, the struggle is there to leave that and then go and do your devotional service. When it comes to asakti, the stage of asakti, the reverse starts to happen. You have to be yanked away from your spiritual practice to come and do the mundane, which is required. For example, you have to be yanked and told that, 15th of April is around the corner. Did you do the taxes or not? Right? Like that. So asakti will, you are concentrating on Krishna all the time. And then there is bhava, you see, right? So bhava is, which will be characterized. Your love for Krishna is growing, right? And bhava is when you start manifesting them. Like when you think of Krishna, when you're chanting, you'll have tears in your eyes, you'll shiver, the hair on your body will stand up and things like that. And then after bhava comes the stage of prema, which is intense. Intense bhava, intensified many, many times, becomes pure love of Krishna, where you just want to do. Krishna is your main soul thing. Everything that you do is for Krishna. And you feel separated from Krishna here in this material world like that. Okay. So that is a rundown of the 9 stages of devotional service. So you can always, you can figure it out where we are. Now, out of these stages that are there, which stage do you think we spend the most time in till the time we reach the stage of prema? Which stage do you think?
Could you repeat your question, Mataji? I couldn't hear in the middle.
Okay. So these are the 9 stages of bhakti, right? Highest being the prema, pure love of Krishna. And before you reach the 9th stage of bhakti, the 9th, you go through the first 8 stages. So the question was that out of these stages, which is the stage where you spend the most amount of time out of the 8 which are there till you reach the prema? Which one?
Association with devotees.
Is it anartha nivritti?
Anartha nivritti for 50
different
points.
For different people,
Exactly.
Right? I mean, devotees.
Yeah, so anartha nivritti is going to is, yes, you will have association of devotees, and once that starts, then it stays continuously. But if you were to say that, even you have Shraddha, faith, okay, I'm having faith, but I'm not meeting with devotees. Then you come to the stage that I am in the association of devotees. And my stage is just that I'm associating with devotees, I'm watching them, but I'm not consciously doing them, and I'm not even practicing or copying whatever they are doing, right? So that stage is not very long, hopefully, because then you will go to the next stage, which is bhajana kriya. You will start doing what they are doing. You see, like that. So that way, the association of devotees stage is not a big stage in that sense of it, where you're just, there with them, like that. So anartha nivritti, how many years do you think it takes? Anartha nivritti. Any guesses? How much time do you think anartha
Okay,
nivritti?
Krishna Mataji, no voice from last 2 minutes, Mataji.
Oh my goodness. What is wrong? I've switched off. Today is a bad connection here. There's something going on here.
Yeah, it's voice is breaking.
Connected to your phone internet rather than the Wi-Fi?
No. I'm on the Wi-Fi. There's no question of joining on the phone. I'm on the high Wi-Fi. It's a very good Wi-Fi. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to?
Tower says
Yeah, I think it's just that it's generally the load is lot.
Mataji, your voice is still breaking.
Okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to stop this audio and I'll join the audio from the phone. Okay, just hold on. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Now I'm talking from
Much
the
better.
phone.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Somehow, I'm on Comcast and it's not doing a good job. All right, Comcast folks, I didn't want to say it that way. so, can you tell me what was the last thing that you heard from me? Okay, I was
Mataji, you were
asking you the
asking, which is the longest stage in this all these 9 stages of bhakti or something you were asking.
Yeah, and the answer was that it is anartha nivritti. And I was asking you to tell me, how long do you think that lasts? The anartha nivritti stage, how long do you think that lasts?
It could
Is
take
it days?
many
Is it
many
months?
lifetimes. It could take many lifetimes.
Yes, it can take many, many lifetimes. So anartha nivritti is the stage where we spend the largest amount of time. Largest amount of time is spent in anartha nivritti. So anything else that you'd like to add from what you heard, or any questions,
Mataji, I have a
any
question.
reflections?
Mataji, I heard from 2 devotees contrary views. One of the devotees said that these stages happen in this chronological order, and another devotee said sometimes these stages can happen need not happen in the same order. So exactly what is the verdict of the scriptures?
Well, you're reading the scripture, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, right? So that's the verdict of the scripture, but sometimes scriptures will not give you the things straight away. And that is why we have the acharyas who tell you things on top of it. So anartha nivrittis will go away, but remember, anarthas can come at a later stage also, right? For example, do you know the story of King Bharat who got attached to a deer?
Yes,
you all know the story, right? King Bharat was actually in the stage of bhava. He had reached that stage. But then a little anartha came in, right? He got attached to something material. He got attached to deer. So sometimes these things can pop up all the time. So that is why we have to be always alert. And this was a question that, Prabhupada's disciples had put this question to him, because he was saying that you should always be afraid of falling down. It's a good fear to have. And so he said, Prabhupada, do you ever fall down? And he says, no. And they asked Prabhupada, but Prabhupada, so if you're not going to ever fall down, then why are you chanting? And Prabhupada said, because I'm always chanting, that's the reason I don't fall down. So you see, that fear of going back and retracting and going to another stage is always there.
So Mataji, the order which is given in this shloka, that is the order which it normally happens?
Yes. Yes. Ideally, it happens like that. But then the mind can do anything, like Bharat Maharaj's mind, right? At the stage of bhava, it brought him down.
Mataji, could you explain in terms of Narad Muni's life? Because when I was reading about him in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I could not exactly map each event in his life to one stage or something like that. So, how do we understand that?
Well, you see, there was association of devotees, right? He gets the association of devotees, right? He was serving the sages who were performing Chaturmasya, right? He gets a chance to serve them. So he got association of devotees. And then after that, he asked them that, can I eat your remnants? So he's then going to the next stage from there. And then Krishna arranged certain things for him. Krishna removed his mother from there. And he went on to, bhajana kriya and things like that. But in that particular lifetime, he did not go beyond that. He saw a little glimpse of the Lord, and Lord showed him that on purpose. And then he tried to get back that again, but he couldn't. And then Lord tells him that, you still have material propensities. And then he continues on to the next life, right? And actually, even before that, when he was a Gandharva, you see he had bad habits, right? And then, so in this next life, some get purified. And then in the next life, the life after that is when he actually goes and reaches the higher stage, like that. Now, the Bhagavatam doesn't recount how he went through, or the narration of all the stages, how was he during asakti and things like that. Sukhdev Goswami doesn't go deeper into that. He just, because he was emphasizing on the association of devotees that over there, and the fact that God is there, and that Vyasadeva should write about God, like that.
Mataji, there are like two types. When we were reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right, for our Bhakti Shastri. So there are like two types of bhava. I'm forgetting the name of those two. One is spontaneous, and other is, I don't remember that word. So the 8th and 9th stage, the love and what is the other one? The last one.
Prema, bhava and prema.
Yeah, bhava and pure love of Krishna. That is like someone like gopis, right? They were already in 8th and 9th stage, right? So they didn't have to go through.
Another, that one, Mataji.
So they didn't have to go through all these things because they were by default in the last stage already, right? So, but for a person like us, we're like fallen souls, so we have to go through maybe these stages, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe.
Exactly. So we have to remember that you use the right term, that fallen souls, right? So fallen souls will go through all those stages, and gopis, they don't go through all the 9 stages because they descend from the Vaikuntha planet straight. They come here because they are part of Krishna's pastimes. So we have to consider Krishna's pastimes separately, right?
Okay.
And the behavior of the players in Krishna's pastimes are different. And sometimes Krishna will also, and then Acharyas also tell us that even in the case of Bharat Maharaj, right, we see that happening, but it was not actually that he was like that. God did it so that he could explain this whole thing to us like that. So you never know. You never know when these devotees are behaving in a certain way. You don't know whether they are really at fault, or is it something that Krishna has planted and he's trying to explain that to you, like that.
Mataji, and the people who are living in like Dham and all, right, they have like spontaneous love for Krishna. Like they maybe they are not going like reading Bhagavatam and Gita and all those things. They have just developed the spontaneous love towards Krishna, right? They will just do certain things like out of love and compassion. So, but they are not like gopis, but they are like Dham Vasis. They do certain type of things, right, out of spontaneous love. So they are also in the, without going through 1 to 7, they are also in the 8 or 9 by default, right?
And so we have to remember that this devotional service and the progress of devotional service spans many lifetimes, right? So some lifetimes ago they would have been in an earth anniversary stage, like that. And the soul has got the will. We have got the free will as to how much time we want to spend in the stage where we do anartha nivritti. They are, that choice is always there. That free will is always there for us, right?
Yeah.
So, and they are doing spontaneous devotional service. It's completely spontaneous, and it's it's ragatmika.
Yeah, ragatmika and
so,
ragatmika.
Yeah.
Ragat, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens is that when you have devotional service, so first, the lowest stage of devotional service is Vaidehi. So Vaidehi Bhakti will start here on the 9 stages of devotional service. The Vaidehi Bhakti starts with Bhajana Kriya. And a part of the Bhajana Kriya, and you would have noticed in the last chapter, last paragraph of what we read today, you would have noticed that it says that Nectar of Devotion says that in Bhajana Kriya, what you are also doing is that you're getting a spiritual master, right?
Yeah.
Taking initiation from a spiritual master, right? So you have a spiritual master. The spiritual master is going to tell you, okay, do this. So like 4 things, 4 regulative principles. Now read this. Now do this. Now serve this. He's going to tell you, right? Do's and don'ts. And you will do it because your spiritual master is telling you. So that is, at the beginning stage of the bhakti, where you are a sadhana. That is known as sadhana bhakti, where you don't have bhakti in that sense, but you are practicing how to do it. So when you're practicing bhakti, in the first stage, you have a teacher who tells you how to do, and maybe you don't like doing it because you have not reached the ruchi stage. You don't have a taste for doing it, but there is a danda on the top of your head. Somebody has a stick, and you are doing it. You are afraid of your spiritual master, and you are doing it. But then, after doing it for some time, then you will progress, and you'll go to the next stage, which is, still it is sadhana bhakti. Still you are practicing bhakti, but it is more like it's raganuga bhakti. That is, now you have got taste. Taste has been developed, and you are doing it. Whether your spiritual master forgets to tell you to do it, you'll still do it because you like doing it, right? You've gone up to a higher stage. And even the higher stages are just, spontaneous, that, you don't even need a spiritual master, right? And in that particular stage, what you start doing is that you would have realized your swarup. You would have realized who you are, what swarup the soul has in the spiritual kingdom. You will know that. And then you will start following a particular person who is in the Vaikuntha Loka. For example, you might know that I am a servant of Rupa Manjari. So what you will do is you will start following Rupa Goswami, because Rupa Manjari comes down as Rupa Goswami. So externally, you will see Rupa Goswami as Rupa Goswami, the Prabhu. But internally, you will know that he is actually Rupa Manjari, who has come from there to teach us all of these things. And so internally, you will serve Rupa Manjari like that. So that happens at the very highest stages.
Yeah.
And it's detailed. It's very esoteric text over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this goes to a very this
Mataji,
one
who are
page
the
just
Manjaris?
covers it.
Radharani.
Manjaris are servants of the gopis, are called Manjaris. So they are gopis in the Vaikuntha planet, and then there are servants of the gopis. They serve the gopis. For example, if a gopi has to give a pan to Krishna, right? Or if a gopi has to go and give a garland to Krishna, then there will be Manjaris who will help make the pan, help them make the garlands, chop the vegetables and things like that. So those are called Manjaris.
So in the Guruvashtakam, we read that the spiritual master is always busy assisting the gopis in serving Radha Krishna. So that we read about that, right, Mataji? So
Yes.
So how do we connect? Like we see the spiritual master is actually doing some sankirtan here, or promoting book distribution, or chanting of holy name, or this. But what is that? Is it something different?
No, at this stage, you will just see him as distributing books. You will not start seeing your spiritual master or try to figure, because even if you try to figure it out, you will not get it. Right? Krishna will reveal these things to you when you reach that ninth stage, no, 8, 9 stages, that high stages. Right? Krishna will reveal it to you. No matter how much we rake our brains to see, okay, my spiritual master looks a little bit like that, so maybe he's this gopi, or maybe he's the Manjari, or maybe he's this, and maybe he's that. We don't do that. We just see the spiritual master as a representative of the Lord, and we know, that we know from through a knowledge. We have got this knowledge that he does that, right? Nikunja, Rati Keli Siddhi, Yayali Bhi Yukti Rapekshaniya, Tatrati Daksha, Ati Valabhasya, Vande Guru Shri Charnaravindam, right? So we see him as assisting all the gopis there, and he's an expert in doing that. So we know that. But who he is, we don't know, right? And we will not try to know that also.
Mataji, is it
And
possible
that's why I
for
was saying
each of
that
is it possible for each of us to know what stage we are?
yes, you read about these stages and you will know, right?
Because Mataji, like
We
it
have given
talks
the
about
definition.
initiation, and which is the sadhu sangha. So we know
Okay.
that we are initiated kind of, but the thing is firm faith. When it talks about firm faith, which is the first stage, I really question whether I have firm faith.
No, faith. Well, faith grows. Faith grows. In the beginning, your faith can be very komal and soft, right? And later on, when you come to the stage of nishtha, that is the stage when your faith becomes very strong, like a banyan tree. You cannot push a banyan tree, right? It's very firmly secured to the ground. Similarly, your faith in Krishna is very much secure. Nobody can move you from there. Whether it is, peer pressure, whether it's family or anything, they can't budge you from there, right? And even people at the higher stage will always have the nishtha. Once you enter the nishtha stage and you move on to the higher stage, the nishtha is still there. Nobody can budge you from there. And you see Prahlad Maharaj. Nobody could budge him. He had that nishtha in him. Like that. So faith also grows. Some Adau Shraddha means in the beginning you will have Shraddha, right? And then it's kind of like it's a little bit cyclical. Some of these things will be cyclical, and like you'll go back and improve a little bit more, go back and improve it a little bit more. And I think that's what the other person was telling you about the stages. For example, this verse, and I was expecting one of you to ask this question actually, that it said Adau Shraddha. But the question is that from where do you get Shraddha? It said Adau Shraddha, in the beginning there is Shraddha. Where is the Shraddha? Where is the faith? I mean, you go and start distributing books and you go and try to give a book to somebody, they say, we don't want a book, we are good. Right? So the question is, how do you get the faith? That is the first thing, right? What do you say?
Yes, Mataji. Interesting question, Mataji.
Right?
Maybe from
Yeah,
the previous life, whatever we may have done a little bit, we
yeah,
right?
yeah, good. And what do you think you would have done in your previous life?
Served some sadhu or
Some of the things.
got association of devotee.
Yes. So you hear about them. You hear about them. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 13.26, he says that he's talking about who will come to him, and then he says some just by hearing about him will come to him. So you have to hear about Krishna, right? And then so you hear something about Krishna, and so maybe you were shopping, and then you found that you were in Palo Alto, and then you hear people singing Hare Krishna mantra, and they're doing the prayers there, and so you're kind of like, what it is, and you're eating your ice cream, and this happens every month when you go there for Harinam. There are people there, they're looking at the ice cream and they're looking there, they stop for a second, they look at like, what is that, right? So that is they heard something, maybe there was a little speech going on, they hear a little bit about God, right? So then what's going to happen is that after you hear, then you also have to observe. It's very important to observe. And that is that, all right, this person is saying that you should have faith in God. He's saying God is almighty and God provides everything. And then you should be chanting and you should take a shower. All that he's saying, then you observe that person and see for yourself that are they really doing it? Are they really preaching, practicing what they're preaching? And which is why, Prabhupada says that you have to be Acharya. Acharya is one who demonstrates through his own example, demonstrates through his own life, whatever he's preaching. Right? So then if you are observing that they are doing this, then what you will do is that you will then go and learn to implement what they are saying. It could be, maybe they're cooking something, maybe they put a tilak in this nice way. Should I just try doing this tilak? Like that. Right? So you learn. Now learning could be that you go and watch some videos. Okay, this is how a tilak is made, this is how a sari is put on, this is how deity worship is done, you make a thal, this, that, right? So that is all theoretical knowledge that you get, but then you have to experiment it on yourself. You try it out yourself, and then you will start, knowing what it is. Okay, this is what it is. Oh, they said that if you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and if I chant, then even if you are very upset, it will calm you down. So until and unless you practice it yourself, you will not have the faith that the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra really calms you down, right? And then, of course, you will explain that to others, you will teach that to others, and others will come back and tell you, hey, it also happened with me. You told me to chant Hare Krishna Mantra when I was upset, and I did that, and it calmed me down. Now your faith will start. Now you will say, oh, now let me find out where those people are coming from who are sitting in Palo Alto and chanting Harinam on the street. Now you are going for and hungering for real devotee association, right? So Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha. Now you are into it in a more deep way, right? Like that. And some of these stages you could have done in your previous birth. So it's a continuum across the various lives. Okay. Any other last comment? We are 20. Yeah, we are 20
Isn't it
minutes over the time.
association which matters during all these stages?
All of this will matter. Association matters. Association should always be there, right? So what I was telling you in the beginning also, that when you are associating with devotees, it's not just you stay there. That the stage that we are talking about here, to the 9 stages, when you are just associating with devotees, devotees are there, right? You go to the temple. But then the real association is going to happen when you're going to do the bhajan kriya, and that is you start following them, what they are doing. And that is the true meaning of association, right? Otherwise, we associate in office also, right? We go out for dinner parties and all. Are we associated in them? No. Right? Associate is when you start copying them and you follow them and your mind agrees that this is what is to be done. Right?
Yes,
so understand the difference between association that we are saying here. Here we are talking about association as a stage, right? That take somebody from your office, right? Completely unknown to Krishna, a white slate, right? And that person somehow, saw you, heard a little bit from you, and has developed the faith. And then after he has developed the faith, then he comes and talks to you and says that, come to my house and I want to hear a little bit more from Krishna about you. So he hears from Krishna about you, and then so that is, the second stage has gone to the second stage. And then you are very good at, convincing him through your example, through your words, mind, deeds, whatever. And then he says, okay, I also want to do it. So now he has gone to the third stage. It doesn't mean that in the third stage he won't associate with you. But you see the difference? The second is a stage. It is just a stage. People can be in that stage where they are there, with the devotees, they watch the devotees, they have got devotees in their family, but they don't emulate them, they don't copy them. They don't follow them like that, right? Because they are still in the second stage. They don't have, because to follow somebody also requires a lot of effort on your part, right? It doesn't happen by itself. You will do something, you will fall down, you won't do it, you will miss this and miss that till you come to a nishtha stage, right? Like that. So these are stages that we're talking about. It doesn't mean that if I reach a stage of nishtha that I don't need devotees around me. I need devotees around me all the time because I can fall down anytime. There was Bharat, we go back to the story of King Bharat all the time, that he was alone in the forest with a deer. He didn't have any devotee association. If he had a devotees around him, some devotee would have told him, hey, king, what are you doing? You left everything. And now you're sitting here in this forest, and you left your wife, your beautiful children, your nice kingdom, and you have spent some time in doing, meditating on the Lord, and you're throwing it all away for this little, deer, like that. Somebody would have told him that, but he did not have association. So you see?
And in the life of
So
the
that's
deer,
it.
he gets the association by hearing from the sadhus, and then he
There you
progresses
go.
again to.
There you go. Yes. And then, of course, Krishna reminds him also, right, from within the heart. So he was
Yes.
associated like that. Yeah. He had Krishna's guidance too. Yeah. Okay, my dears, it is the time for me to call it a day on this one. It's 6:24, and we'll meet again next week. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience that you had because of the glitches in technology. I hope we have better luck next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you so much,
Krishna,
Mataji. Dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Kalpatarubhyascha kripasinjubhe vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Good Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Shri
Hari Hari
Prabhupada.
Bol.
Nandi Hari Hari.
Thank you,
Dandavat
Mataji.
pranam.
Thank you,
Okay, thank you
Mataji.
so much.
Dandavat
So much,
pranam.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Happy
Krishna.
Ekadashi to everyone.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So we are meeting again. For those of you who are on that WhatsApp group, we are meeting again at 6:30 tomorrow morning to just read from Bhagavad Gita. Anybody interested in reading? We just read. We kind of go through it in 30 minutes. And tomorrow, sometimes we go a little bit over 30 minutes, but tomorrow I can't go over 30 minutes because at 7 o'clock sharp, I have to go for the Bhakti Vaibhav class. So tomorrow's class will be short, mostly reading just to the Bhagavad Gita, but it's a good way to start the day. If you're up and about at 6:30, please use the same Zoom conference call and same numbers and join us there. From now till then, Hare Krishna and Dandavat pranam.
Hare
Those of
Krishna.
you
Hare
who are
Krishna,
on Zoom
Hare
and those of you who are
Dandavat
watching us
pranam.
on Facebook as well. Dandavat pranam. Jai Prabhupada.